On certain days, the universe speaks louder than others. October 2nd is one of those days. It is not an ordinary date on the calendar. It is a hidden checkpoint, a doorway where your spirit is tested. Many will walk through it blindly, distracted by noise, rushing through routines, never realizing they are standing at a sacred threshold. The danger is not outside, it is within. The danger comes when you ignore the whisper of your inner call and let yourself be carried away by outer distractions. This is not superstition, this is energy alignment. Ancient masters observed that some days carry an intensity, a rhythm, a vibration that can either elevate you or bring you crashing down. October 2nd carries such a current. To misuse it is to miss your chance to deepen your awakening. To align with it is to unlock a level of clarity most people never touch. In this teaching, I will reveal the one mistake that can quietly destroy your spiritual awakening. I will show you why this mistake is subtle, how it steals your strength without you noticing, and how Shaolin wisdom can protect you from it. You will learn principles hidden in silence, mindfulness practices that guard your energy, and ancient disciplines that keep your path clear. Stay with me until the end, because this knowledge is not surface level. It is rooted in lessons carried for centuries by those who walked the path of self-mastery. By the time you finish, you will understand why October 2nd is not a day to take lightly. Welcome to Shaolin Soulfire, where we awaken the inner warrior and refine the spirit. If you have not already, subscribe now, so you never miss the call that could change your life. There are moments in life when the harder you push, the further away the goal seems to drift. Like water slipping through clenched fists, the more you try to hold it, the more it escapes you. The Shaolin masters call this the principle of Wu Wei, effortless action. It is the art of moving in harmony with the flow of life, instead of standing against it. To the untrained eye, this may sound like passivity, but in truth, Wu Wei is the highest form of discipline. It asks you to trust the rhythm of nature, to act when the moment is right, and to pause when the moment requires silence. It is like the archer who waits for the wind to still before releasing the arrow. The effort is there, but it is guided by alignment, not by force. On days like October 2nd, this teaching becomes especially important. The energy around you is heightened, and many feel an urgency to achieve, to prove, to force results. But this is the mistake that destroys spiritual progress. When you push against the natural current, you invite resistance. The body grows restless, the mind becomes unsettled, and the spirit loses its balance. Instead, the lesson of Wu Wei calls you to soften, to step back and observe where life is guiding you rather than where your impatience is trying to drag you. It is to move like bamboo in the wind, never rigid, always flexible, yet unbroken. The Shaolin path teaches that mastery is not about conquering life, but about entering into its rhythm. When you do so, your actions carry a power that effort alone could never produce. On this sacred day, let go of force, and you will discover how much further the flow can take you. There is a quiet danger that most people overlook, the urge to speak too soon. In the Shaolin way, silence is not emptiness, it is protection. The monks say that when you share your plans, your struggles, or the sacred visions planted within you, you scatter the very energy needed to bring them to life. Words can leak power. Once released, that strength is no longer fully yours. Think of a seed placed in the earth. If you dig it up too often to show others, it will never take root. It needs the shelter of darkness, the safety of stillness, before it can grow into something unshakable. So too are your inner goals, your awakening, your deepest struggles. They are seeds that demand patience and quiet cultivation. The trap of oversharing is subtle. It feels harmless at first, seeking encouragement, a sense of validation or proof that you are on the right path. But validation from outside often replaces the discipline to keep moving inward. Instead of building inner strength, you begin to depend on others' approval. This is how sacred energy is lost, little by little. The Shaolin masters teach, discipline means holding your power close, like a flame shielded from the wind. Speak less, act more. Let your results, your transformation, your stillness reveal the truth in time. Those who waste their energy talking rarely have enough left for doing. To guard your silence is to guard your awakening. Protect your seed until it becomes a tree. When the roots are deep and the branches strong, no voice of doubt can uproot it. But until then, let your work grow in the unseen, for it is in the unseen that true strength is born. A single thought can shape the direction of an entire day. The Shaolin path teaches that the mind is both the sharpest weapon and the most dangerous enemy. During spiritually charged times, this truth becomes even more evident. Each thought carries weight, like a stone thrown into still water, sending ripples far beyond what the eye can see. The mistake many fall into is allowing restless, doubtful, or fearful thoughts to lead the way. Anxiety repeats itself until it becomes a pattern, and doubt, once fed, grows into a chain that binds the spirit. The masters warn that thoughts are like arrows. Once released, they cannot return. An arrow can strike its mark or cause harm, but it will never fly back into the quiver. To live mindfully is to watch the arrows before they are released. This requires discipline. It is not about fighting every thought, but about observing them with clarity. When anger arises, you notice it, but you do not let it speak for you. When fear appears, you acknowledge it, but you do not let it guide your steps. In this way, the mind becomes a servant rather than a master. The ancient discipline is simple yet demanding. Guard the gate of the mind. In silence, watch the patterns. In stillness, choose which thoughts deserve your energy. The more carefully you select them, the more your life moves in harmony. On days of heightened energy, like stepping onto sacred ground, careless thoughts are like noise in a temple. They disturb what should remain pure. To walk with mastery is to release only those arrows that carry peace, strength, and clarity. For in the end, the quality of your thoughts becomes the quality of your awakening. The body is the vessel of the spirit. In the Shaolin tradition, it is never treated as separate from the mind. The two rise together and fall together. When the body is weak, restless, or neglected, the mind soon follows. When the body is trained with discipline, it becomes a temple where clarity and strength can reside. The mistake is to forget this unity. Laziness dulls the senses. Excess in food, drink, or indulgence makes the body heavy and the spirit clouded. Carelessness, sitting too long, moving without awareness, treating the body as though it were unimportant, slowly weakens the foundation of spiritual practice. On sacred times, when the energy of the universe is more alive, this neglect becomes even more costly. A distracted body cannot receive the deeper messages of the spirit. The ancient masters taught that discipline of the body is not about punishment. It is about respect. Each stretch, each breath, each moment of care is a reminder that the body is the ground upon which the spirit stands. They would rise before the sun, train in silence, and move in rhythm with the day, not to prove strength, but to prepare the vessel for wisdom. To live without discipline is to walk through life in a fog. But to cultivate the body with awareness is to clear the mist, to allow the light of understanding to shine more brightly. Even the smallest acts, a mindful walk, a deep breath taken with intention, the choice of moderation over excess, become forms of training. When body and mind are aligned, you move with a quiet power. When they are divided, the path of awakening becomes heavy. True mastery begins with honoring the body, for in its strength and balance, the spirit finds its clarity. Emotions are powerful currents that shape the direction of life. When they are balanced, they become fuel capable of lifting the spirit higher, sharpening awareness and deepening compassion. But when left uncontrolled, emotions turn into storms that scatter energy and cloud perception. The Shaolin path teaches that to master emotion is not to suppress it, but to understand and guide it. The mistake lies in reacting. Anger rises, and instead of observing, words are spoken like blades. Jealousy appears, and instead of questioning it, the heart burns with unrest. Fear comes, and rather than facing it, the spirit retreats. Each reaction spills energy outward, leaving little strength for the journey inward. The masters gave a simple image. The still pond reflects the heavens. The disturbed pond reflects nothing. A calm surface mirrors the sky in perfect detail. but once disturbed, even the brightest stars vanish from its face. So it is with emotion. When the heart is calm, truth is seen clearly. When the heart is agitated, everything becomes distorted. Guarding emotional energy requires discipline. It means pausing before responding, breathing deeply before speaking, and allowing the wave of feeling to pass before choosing an action. It is not the absence of emotion, but the mastery of response. In this stillness, emotions lose their power to control and instead become guides, showing where the self is wounded, where growth is needed, where compassion must expand. To walk with spiritual strength is to protect this inner balance, for only in still waters can the heavens reflect, and only in a heart unshaken by storms can wisdom reveal its light. There is a voice within that speaks only in silence. It does not shout, it does not compete with the noise of the world, it waits, patient and steady, for the moment you choose to listen. For those walking the path of awakening, silence is not emptiness, it is nourishment. Solitude is not loneliness, it is preparation. The chosen ones cannot afford to drown in endless noise. Constant chatter, distraction, and entertainment may feel harmless, but they scatter attention and weaken the bond with the inner self. Just as the flame of a candle is invisible under the midday sun, the whisper of the spirit is hidden beneath the roar of the world. To hear it, you must step into stillness. The ancient masters often withdrew into mountains and forests, not to escape life, but to refine their perception of it. In silence, they discovered truths that could never be found in conversation. In solitude, they touched a strength that no company could give. The discipline was simple yet demanding. Sit quietly, breathe, and wait until the noise of the mind fades. Only then does the true guidance arise. Without silence, the inner compass is lost. Decisions become guided by impulse, influence, and the voices of others. But in silence, clarity emerges. You begin to hear what is right for you, not what is demanded by the world. Solitude becomes a mirror where the soul reflects back its own wisdom. To guard your silence is to guard your power. To embrace solitude is to remember who you are beneath the noise. For in the quiet spaces, the chosen ones discover the direction of their path and the strength to walk it with certainty. The path of mastery is never rushed. In Shaolin teaching, the focus is not on what will be gained, but on how one shows up in each moment. Monks train for years, repeating the same movements, the same stances, without chasing medals or applause. Their aim is presence, not reward. In this way, progress unfolds naturally, without pressure, without the hunger of expectation. The mistake many fall into is obsession with results. A seed is planted, and already the mind demands a tree. A practice is begun. And impatience asks, why am I not transformed yet? This desperation poisons the spirit. Instead of resting in the discipline of the present, the heart leans toward the future, and in that leaning, balance is lost. True awakening cannot be forced. It is like water carving stone, patient, persistent, invisible in the moment, yet undeniable in the passage of time. To demand immediate change is to miss the subtle shifts already happening. The breath grows calmer, the thoughts grow clearer, the emotions lose their grip. These are signs of awakening, though they may seem small compared to the breakthroughs the mind longs for. The discipline of detachment means giving your full effort, yet releasing the hunger for outcome. It is to walk the path with steady steps, knowing that each step carries its own value. The masters remind us, when the archer releases the arrow, he does not cling to it mid-air. He trusts the practice, the training, and the rhythm of life itself. Patience is the true companion of awakening. Desperation leads only to exhaustion. When you let go of outcomes, you discover that the journey itself is the treasure, and the results come quietly in their own time. There is a rhythm to life that flows beneath the surface of every day. The sun rises and sets, tides ebb and flow, and the seasons turn in quiet perfection. October 2nd carries this rhythm in a heightened way. A subtle shift where cycles meet, where day and night find balance, and where energy tilts between endings and beginnings. Those who move in harmony with this rhythm find clarity, strength, and alignment. The mistake is to push against it. Overworking, forcing tasks, or remaining disconnected from the earth may feel productive, but they fracture the natural flow. The body tires, the mind strains, and the spirit loses touch with its own pulse. The ancient masters observed that imbalance in these sacred moments clouds judgment, scatters energy, and obscures insight. To align with nature's rhythm is to honor both the external and internal currents. Rise with intention, move with awareness, and rest when the day softens. Notice how the wind shifts, how the light changes, how your own body responds to these cues. Shaolin teaching emphasizes that the outer world is a mirror of the inner. When you attune to cycles outside, your inner cycles come into balance. Even small acts, walking barefoot on earth, listening to the rustle of leaves, observing the sun's descent, bring you into this harmony. The path is not about controlling time, but flowing with it. The rhythm is constant, steady, and generous. It does not demand, it simply offers. When you walk in tune with the natural cycles, each step becomes lighter, each breath deeper, and each choice clearer. Align with the rhythm, and the day itself supports your spirit. Disrupt it, and you strain against currents that were always meant to carry you forward. There is a tempo within each of us, built not of stone, but of awareness. The Shaolin path teaches that true mastery begins here, with careful observation of the self. To watch without judgment, to notice thoughts, emotions, and impulses as they arise, is the highest form of discipline. It is the quiet work that shapes the strength of the spirit. The mistake is moving too quickly through life, rushing from task to task. Reacting without reflection and ignoring the subtle stirrings within the heart scatters energy and clouds insight. The chosen ones, in their eagerness to awaken, often overlook this. Ignoring the inner state is like trying to navigate a river without seeing the currents. You may move, but you do not move with purpose. To practice inner observation is to sit in stillness and witness without interference. When anger surfaces, you see it without becoming it. When fear whispers, you note its presence without surrendering. When joy arises, you accept it without clinging. Each moment of observation trains the mind, steadies the spirit, and deepens understanding. The ancient masters likened this discipline to polishing a mirror. Only through careful, patient attention does the reflection become clear. Every unexamined thought, every unattended emotion leaves smudges that distort perception. By observing, the mind becomes calm, the heart uncluttered, and the soul aligned. The path of awakening is not measured by grand feats or dramatic breakthroughs, but by the steady attention to the inner world. Those who refuse to pause, who ignore the state of their own mind and heart, weaken their progress. Mastery begins when you stop long enough to see yourself clearly, without judgment, and let the quiet guidance of awareness illuminate every step. The greatest mistake is to live outwardly on this sacred day, chasing distractions instead of turning inward to the quiet strength within. Shaolin wisdom reminds us to guard our energy, master our thoughts, honor silence, and move in alignment with life's rhythm. When these practices are embraced, October 2nd transforms from a simple date into a powerful portal of growth and clarity. Spiritual awakening is not something lost to fate. It is something nurtured through discipline, mindfulness, and self-mastery. Each day offers an opportunity to practice these principles, to observe oneself, and to act with presence and calm. By bringing awareness to every thought, every emotion, and every choice, the path of awakening becomes steady, clear, and strong. Take these lessons into your daily life. Pause, reflect, and move with intention. Let silence guide you, let patience shape you, and let your inner discipline light the way. In this way, the spirit grows resilient, wise, and serene. If this message resonates, take a moment to like this video and subscribe to Shaolin Soulfire. Here, we walk the path of inner mastery together, cultivating strength, clarity, and peace in every step. Let your journey unfold with calm awareness, and may your spirit shine brightly today and always.